Hi diddly ho, neighborino! It's Usernamekate here and welcome back to my channel. 2022, new year, new us. Well guys, I feel like I've transported back to my youth. I feel 17 again. I've rewound the clock a good 13 years and I'm back on a 125. Now, as you probably saw in the introduction, it isn't just any 125, oh no, this is an adventure 125. So today I have the pleasure of reviewing the Sinnis Terrain 125. It honestly does feel like I've transported back 13 years. I mean, if that was the case, I'd be immediately investing in Amazon and Netflix. But hindsight's a glorious thing. So this bike that I'm riding today has an acclaimed 12.7 horsepower. Power! I'm sure a few of you have been seeing this bike pop up on a few vloggers' channels. I've watched Richie Vida ride this thing off-road. I've watched Bruce do some absolute bum-numbing miles on it. And Sinnis reached out to me and said, would you like to borrow our Terrain 125? I said, if you can make it 2, I'm in. So they did. So today is going to be a review on the bike, or a first impressions, realistically a first impressions. But as mentioned in my last video, we're keeping the algorithm sweet. So I'll be reviewing the Sinnis Terrain 125, and then, because he so kindly lent us to, myself and Mike will be doing some green lanes tomorrow on it, or on them should I say. So that should be really, really fun and interesting, and we'll see whether this so-called adventure bike can actually deliver an adventure. Got some learners, give them a wave, don't want to distract them. So where am I taking you today? It's 4 degrees, it's pretty cold. So I was thinking about doing some country lanes, but when I woke up this morning it was literally in the minuses, and usually where you have country lanes you have ice. And I'm going to be doing a bit of green laning on this anyway, so for the first review I figured I'd take you to the lovely town of Leigh, Lancashire. Probably will be some sights, I'll not lie. And I'm going to talk you through this bike whilst we're on our own little mission through Leigh. So the Sinnis 125 for 2021 has some quite significant changes to the old Sinnis 125. So the big differences notably are the older Terrain 125 used to be air cooled, but obviously that ain't gonna work in a Euro 5 mad world. So they've changed it, it's now water cooled. The old Sinnis 125 used to have 5 gears, but this one has got a little extra one. It's also got slightly more horsepower than its predecessor. And now it pumps out a whopping 12.7 horses, giddy up. Puts out 7.7 foot-pounds of torque as well, or 10.5 newton meters. And it is your typical 125. You are revving the knackers off it everywhere, and it still probably couldn't pull the skin off a rice pudding, but that's just a general fact about 125s anyway. So one thing that strikes me as quite cool is I did a little bit of research on this bike before it was dropped off, and I wanted to check out... Alright mate, calm down. I wanted to check out who its competitors were, and when you actually type in Adventure 125, it just dominates the search history. Like Terrain 125 Sinnis. To my knowledge, it's the only 125 that comes with a full set of panniers. and crash bars as standard. It really is like an entry-level offering to people that, you know, want to do adventures but maybe only have a CBT. And I think it's pretty cool because nothing else that I saw was remotely similar. It's pretty cool. B&Q, I used to work there, fun fact. It was my second job. I actually loved wearing that orange pinner. So whilst we're making our way through the glorious town of Leigh, I figured I'll mention a few stats about this bike. So, as you know, 125cc, it's a single cylinder, it's got a weight of 150 kilograms, which is really light, really manageable. I'm sure, as you saw in the beginning, it's not a struggle to push around. I'm a dweeb, and if I can do it, anyone bloody can. Another thing, it has a really accessible seat height at 780 millimeters. Now obviously I'm 5'4" with a 29-inch inseam, but if you are a larger lad or lass and you want to see how it is for comfort, there are plenty of videos out there, like I say, by Teapot One, by Richie Vida, people with different stature to myself, and you can really see how they kind of fit on the bike. So the bike's really, really revvy, as most 125s are. You really got to rev the knackers off them. First gear is pretty useless, to be fair, but it might come in handy tomorrow when we're green laning. But it is so short, like you can just set off in second really if you wanted to. Another thing that this bike has, linked brakes. It's quite funny, when we were unloading them and Mike was driving them onto the drive, obviously Mike is Mike, he didn't realise that the brakes were linked and he tried to do a big skid. In fact, yeah, we'll go around here, we'll go actually through Leigh. Let's go! See, first gear, very short. There we go, third gear. 28 mile an hour. She's singing, but she's moving. So yeah, okay, as you do, as you were. Yeah, so he tried to do this like mad skid, and obviously the brakes are linked. He didn't know. And because he didn't know, he nearly endoed and went over the bars. That's quite strange. That I've always heard with link brakes, like you apply the front and it gives you a little bit of back as well, but I actually haven't heard of where you brake on the rear and then it brings in a bit of front. So that's quite new to me. Maybe that's a normal thing, I don't quite know. Beep beep beep. I want to join in, don't leave me out. So yeah, link brakes, it's got upside down forks, which I think is bloody crazy for a, you know, Chinese bike. Got a nice skinny little back end. I know big booties are in, but you've got a little 120 rear, which makes it nice and agile. And yeah, it just has all the great characteristics of a 125. One thing that kind of surprised me about this bike is how big it actually looks for a 125. Like maybe because it's fully loaded with the panniers and the top box, which the bike comes with, but you'll probably see from like a thumbnail, like with me sat on it, it does not look like it'd be a 125. So how does it ride? I'm actually really comfortable. I've got a nice bend in my knee, my back is nice and straight, I'm not hunched over. The seat is very comfy, it's like quite soft. The clutch feels light, I suppose it should do with it being a 125, but that's quite nice. One thing I like about it comes with a USB port, which will make for great adventuring because, you know, we can put the phone on there, keep it on charge throughout the day. The mirrors are great, you can see plenty through them, they're not an offensive shape. I feel like when you ride a 125 or when you jump back on a 125 from, you know, riding bigger bikes, You do just have to learn to really like rinse them, like proper wring the neck of them. And it is just a different way of riding, and it feels kind of good. It feels kind of naughty because you feel like you should be going a lot faster, but you're actually probably well within the speed limits actually. So it doesn't have self-cancelling indicators, but I'm not mad. The Greyhound, bloody Greyhound. Right, let's try and set off. Come on, first gear, don't let me down. Second gear, take it round the roundabout. I am indicating. Wind it on. Oh, red line. 60 miles an hour. 62, 63, 64, 65, and I'm going to shut off because I'm giving myself a little 10% rule without getting in too much trouble there. But with me, with it absolutely pinned, 65. I'd not say that's too bad. Right, so we're going for mile 65. I'm applying the brakes. Let's see if it'll stop alright. It's like a firm press on the bar. And yeah, they're adequate. They're adequate. They're not bad. They're not bad brakes. I wouldn't say, oh, they're bad. They actually stop you. Which I know is like the very least you could expect from brakes, that they actually bloody stop you. But you'd be surprised. Was it round here? It feels light. You know, you can throw it around pretty easy, but that might be attributed to its weight, the skinniness of the tyres. It doesn't have much overtaking grunt, so you do have to consider that. I think it'd make an absolutely bloody good bike for someone that's just learning to ride, who has aspirations to own, you know, either a Yamaha Tenere T7 or an Africa Twin or a GS or something like that. You know, it's like the baby steps, and I suppose one of the real good things about it is it's quite affordable. So this bike, like on the road, so in the UK on the road price, is around about £3,200. Pick a lane. Yeah, £3,200, available in two colours. Obviously I'm on Canyon Red today, but there is an Arctic White, which you'll see when I go out there with Mike in the lanes, on the lanes. Right, let's see if I can drag race this car, because let's be honest, I've got to get over here. Come on, mighty Sinnis, you can do it. Let's go. First, nothing. Oh, they didn't even try. Well, we got up to the 40 pretty damn quick, so I'm happy. But yeah, overall, really enjoying this bike. Obviously, I can't comment on the durability of this. This is like my first ride on it. I'd love to know from you guys, as an owner, does it stand the test of time? Because I know that is a big worry for people. Like, do you buy cheap, but then you suffer for it later? So let me know, are they hard wearing? Are they durable? I want to know. Oh, KFC. I probably kept their lights on back in the day. Do you know what? Funny story, that KFC actually ran out of chicken once. Ran out of chicken. A crisis. Okay guys, well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's just a little introduction to the Sinnis Terrain 125 and all its compact funness. So yeah guys, first video, well, second video of 2022 out of the way, our first bike review. You know, I'm just so excited for putting out content for you guys. If you haven't watched my last video, basically I've quit my job and I'm going to focus on YouTube full time. But you only live once and I'm not living with regret, so I'm going to give it a go. This is Usernamekate signing off.